Hi guys, it's Aegis here. So today I'm going to showcase my Shadow Paladin premium deck profile. But some of the cards in here is actually using some proxy because I don't have that much amount of those cards. So on the right video, I actually borrowed my friend's cards to play with, and then I added a little bit. So I will be using something similar to proxy, so you know it's that card, but of course I will be also showing it here so you know what that is. And also do note that this build is kind of a limited build. It's not limit fight rule or anything, but it's just me having limited resources and I build it that way. So let's go into the deck profile. So first, Cardfight Vanguard, we are using the V era cards because we do need to Soul Blast and need to keep the Great Zero inside the soul. So, and also the draw one and Quick Shield is helpful, so we are still using the V era instead of like the G eras or like other old Cardfight Vanguard. And then next I'm running 3 of the Claret Sword Dragon. So this is your key Grave Freeze to ride and should be like your main Grave Freeze to ride, which is linking to the G zone, but he himself can also be very strong because when he appears you can just look at top 3 and ditch any number of great ones to drop, and those cards remaining you can get to shuffle back your deck. You don't need to put them to the drop, and for each great one you drop he will get 10k. So if you are on your striding turn and riding him, of course the 10k won't matter because what you want is just stack your great ones. And the second skill allows you to bind 7 great ones after battle ends and stand this unit -1 drive for the turn, which linking to grade 4 we have Chain Ranker, which will help you to do a multiple attacks with higher power and more drive checks. And also, since I'm running Claret Sword, so the main force that we are picking will be Force 2. And then I'm running 2 of the Phantom Blaster Dragon. Of course, both of them should be the new one. I'm just using the old one here as a proxy, but you will need to use 2 of the V version of Phantom Blaster Dragon. So if you see this, you probably know if you also play the standard, which I will be using the Superiority Chain for Phantom Blaster, since I'm not using any lure, which I can tell you right now I'm not using any lure, so I can use the main and continue with the Blasterite Chain to speed ride into Phantom Blaster Dragon to rush my opponents if I'm going first. So when they are on grade 2, grade 1, so I start grade 1, grade 2 become grade 3, so they are on grade 1. I can already Superior Ride into Phantom Blaster Dragon, and when they're on grade 2 I can already stride. And probably most ideal situation is you first Superior Ride into Phantom Blaster Dragon, the next turn you ride into Claret Sword, open yourself another force marker, stride into Chain Ranker, just do the full blast there with 2 force markers and just swing. Of course you do have other backup plans, but this will be the way for you to easily win. But for most cases, since I can almost get my Phantom Blaster Dragon Superior Ride off, so there will be times that I can't find my Claret Sword Dragon but can still win with you riding Phantom Blaster Dragon. But also you do need to be very careful when you do the Superior Chain, because there are clans that can work a lot better when they strike first, and if you're going second and use Superior first, then they can get to strike when they ride on the grade 3, so do be careful on that. And then talking about the Superior Chain, of course we will have 2 Temple Dragon and 2 Blaster Dogs. So Temple Dragon can be searched by the main, when you're on grade 1, so you can guarantee to get a Blaster Dog, and once you get Blaster Dog you can use Band-Aid to Superiority into Phantom Blaster Dragon. The main use of these cards are linking to Phantom Blaster Dragon, and you need 2 because just in case I'm gonna hit you 1 damage and then you just take it and it's there. So you do need a kind of a backup in your deck so that you can do it. And then we are getting into our Claret Sword package, which is Darkpride Dragon and Morian Spear Dragon. So these guys help you to increase your grade 1s in your drop, because you drop 1 hand to draw with this guy, you can gain power. You draw 3 cards for free and gain 5k, and if you got a grade 1 there, you can even kind of last button and draw your extra cards so you can put more cards on the field, or maybe save yourself some more defensive power. But the main thing is to drop as much grade 1s as possible, and the Damhood Dragon will help you to Soul Blast your grade 1 like the next, or maybe just even the grade 0 first. Then you can also use that as a count for Mofasa grade 4 as a grade 1. And that's basically for my grade 2 lineups, and I have to say it's not less, because there are like 10 grade 2s. I do want to cut a bit, but for now I think that's fine. Then I'm running 2 of the Brandwind. In my fight video I didn't actually use Brandwind, but after playtesting I do think I need Brandwind, because there are times that I never meet my Claret Sword Dragon, even though I do have other searches which you'll see very soon, but I do want to increase my chances of meeting Claret Sword. So I have 2 Brandwinds, and since she's grade 1, so it won't hurt for me to use more grade 1s. But when you look at top 5, make sure you don't pick up a Phantom Blaster Dragon and only Claret Sword, because you want to Superiority into Phantom Blaster Dragon, and you don't want to add extra copies to your hand unless you already done the combo. Then when you see it, you can actually pick it up and drop a grade 1 from your hand if you have, so that you can secure yourself some strike cost, or maybe even use his second skill to rewrite it and give your opponents a damage if they have no regards. Then I'm running 4 of the Blue Espada Dragon. So Blue Espada Dragon is another card that helps you to search for Claret Sword and also have a chance to get Morian Spear. So I'm running 4 to increase my chances to meet Claret Sword Dragon. Then also get myself chances to drop more grade 1s. And the reason I'm only running 2 of the Morian Spear is I think most people do want to play 4 of the Morian Spear and maybe 2 of the Darkpride Dragon, but for me I do it differently. Yes, this decreases the chances of me looking at top 3 and meeting one of these guys, but I do want to create the drop zone as fast as possible, and I don't always have a grade 1 to discard for this card, so I rather use Darkpride Dragon to get 5k and at least guarantee me a free card draw from deck. And if I find a great one and I have Counterblast spare, then I can even draw a card. So that's what you see. Then I'm running one of the Swells. So she can get 15k if you have 5 or more grade 1 cards on the field. So it's not easy, but you can get there, and she can be searched by the main, so I'm only running 1 copies because there are times that I do put these guys out to fight, so she might not always get the 15k, but you want some options to do something differently, like when you try, or when you even on your Claret Sword turn, then you want some high attack healers then at least you can try to use res, and it can be searched, which as long as your main lives, you can find her out. And then I am running one of deck run, since as long as I can get up to grade 3s, all my grade 1s in front row can intercept, increase the chances of surviving. And since I can use grade 1s to intercept, which means I can also put them up, do some fighting, and intercept with them, so I can get a grade 1s in my drop zone a lot easier. Then of course, Band-Aid, your Superiority Chain, so 1 is enough. Unless she went to damage, then well, it is what it is. You can still play a normal game. You don't need to go to the speed run game. But most of the time, I don't think you need more than 1 of her. But if you want to play safe, of course you can try to find space for another copy. But at this stage, 1 is enough for me. And then I'm running 2 of the Holy, since the friends playing premium with me always do like multiple attacks, and usually more than 5, unless they go for like DP high crit 1 hit KO kind of thing. But most of the time they are trying to hit me multiple times, and something almost like an infinite loop, so I do need to find a way to stop them. And Holy is still a very good card. It can be called out, since it's a great one. Of course not by the main, but you still have other ways to get it out to stop multiple attacks. Then I'm running one of the new VRPG, that is great one. So just in case, if I have a chance that someone use guide restrictions on grade 0s, then at least I have grade 1s to guide with. And also this card, as long as I write it, I can still draw a card and discard a card. So if I do mulligans and I still can't find my main, but I have this card in my hand, I can at least try to write on it and use these 2 draws to try to find the main. Then of course I'm running 4 of the domains. I can't find the proxy right here, so I'm using something face down. But you do need 4 domains, because you need 1 to call as a regard, and you do need 1 whatever grade 1 to ride on. And using 4 highly increase the chances that you can meet her before you start the game, like by drawing first 5 and mulligan. So most of the time I can just get her off, so 4 is needed. And then this is also a proxy, is Abyssal Out, but it's the V version, which you can usually counterblast 1 to draw 1, but you can also use Soul Blast 1 to draw 1 if you call it out by card effects and both you and your opponent's Vanguard is on the same grade. So can be called up on the main because it's a 5k. Yeah, so another way to increase your hand size. So I'm running 2 of the Abyssal, but of course new 1, not the old one. And then getting the triggers, I am running 2 of the new Strive Order crits, 3 of the draw crits, and then 3 of the PG draws, 4 of the crow stands, and 4 new heals. So to explain a little bit is because I want to have a good balance on PG, so this is my lineup. And I still think draw is kind of important here, even I do have a lot of draw power, but extra draw is still helpful, which is also why I'm running 3 here, draw crit more than the Strive Order crit. And the reason I'm only running 2 of the Strive Order crit is because my goal is to win in first or second stride, so I don't need to stride that much, but at the same time, I do want to guarantee myself able to strike. So this is what the lineup is. And the stand triggers still allows you to call 2 units. If you use Mofessa, you can at least put 2 cards for ritual, and then you can just sack it with Mofessa to draw you another 2 cards, which you can just put them out to play. So it's still very, very helpful. And you get to shuffle this card back to your deck, so you can still stand a unit. And since you are going to use Superiority into Phantom Blaster Dragon and right into your Claret Sword ideally, so you will open a Force 2 marker on a rearguard circle, and as long as you stand the circle, they will have a 2 crit base attack, so still able to pressure your opponents by that. And now let's get into the G zone. So first I'm running 2 of the Mofessa. 2 is enough, you don't need too much. And herself and Chain Ranker will be your first right option depending on which grade freeze you're on. If you are on Phantom Blaster Dragon, then of course you never try to strike into Chain Ranker unless you really want that guard restriction. But Mofessa will do the job for you. As long as you use your Dark Pride, you use your Blue Espada Dragon, you use your right chain to keep soul blasting cards, then you should be able to get into 10 grade 1s, including the skill making grade 0s into grade 1s quite easily on your first strike. Then what you need to do is just plus 15k to your front row and crit and just swing for game. Because you will have a Force 2 marker on your Vanguard, which means your Mofessa will be a free crit base, and most likely your opponent is going to guard. Because they never know your trigger lineups, and they will assume you have a lot of crits. Which means if you do a double crit, it's like a 5 damage, that's usually game, so they will guard for that. In Chain Ranker, again, got restrictions, and able to copy the Claret Sword skill, so you can do a triple drive and chain drive attack, which is kind of scary. And you do have these 4, so they will be your basic force rights, as long as you have Counter Blast. Or you do, yeah, basically you have Counter Blast. If you don't have Counter Blast, of course you have other options, but most of the time if you have 1 Counter Blast, then they will be options, and depending on if you are on Phantom Blaster Dragon or Claret Sword, then you will choose from these. Yeah. So your first 4 strikes is kind of confirmed, but if your opponent is going to damage deny you, then you at least have Dragabyss Lure. So Dragabyss Lure only requires you to have Soul Blast, and you set 1 rearguard to call 2 grade 1s. So if you like facing a opponent who is going to multiple attack you, then you can use Lure to call yourself a Honolly to stop those attacks. And if they damage deny you, that's even better, because you need to put 1 damage face down when you call Honolly, and if they are going to damage deny you, then you don't even have a Counter Blast to flip. And if you do have Counter Blast to flip, then you will go for these options. So kind of easy to run. And yeah, as long as you open a G guard, then you can activate the Ritual X, Ritual Cross to gain 10k for 4 grade 1s, which is easy unless you already use a Claret Sword, else you will have a lot of grade 1s in your drop zone. So it's quite easy to pull off the high power, and even if you don't have Counter Blast, you can still do some power plays. And don't forget, we do run stands, so you can still spam some Force 2 markers and gain power to your front line and still stand them, and maybe you pull crit again. So yeah, kind of a backup plan. And no counterblast, but you need to do personal flip with this guy, so running 4 is better. Then I'm running 2 other Phantom Blaster Diablo, also a backup. Like, if you find your opponents don't have enough regards to kill and they are just like 2 damage to death, then of course you can simply use a Phantom Blaster Diablo and steal the guard, win the game. So it's kind of easy, and most Shadow Paladin deck usually still put 2 in there as a backup. So here you are, backup plan. But most of the time you don't actually need to use Phantom Blaster Diablo, so which is great. So if you're going for Professor or Chain Ranker, you can even flip Phantom Blaster Diablo if you don't find him useful. But most of the time I think I will just flip the Lord instead, because I just need 1 pair to do the stuff if I want to, so I have 2 copies to flip if I want to. And then I am running 1 of the Ultima, again another backup plan, you don't actually need it. So if you do want to run something else, you can even consider the Claret Sword Grade 4, which unfortunately I don't have a pair of, so it do require some flipping, so I'm not using any, and it does require you to use quite a few copies, and I do want to get myself a little bit options. But if you do want to push games, you can run basically cut 1 off, maybe cut this pair off, or even cut a pair of this if you want to keep your Phantom Blaster Diablo, and then cut 1 off for 4 Claret Sword Grade 4. That is also possible, but it's up to you, because that card can help you to keep calling Great Ones, but then you still actually want to call Great Ones with other skill, so again, it's up to you. Then entering G-Guards, Plot Maker, easy G-Guardian, so nothing much to say. Bronak also help you to fill the Great Ones in your drop, because what you need to do is just drop a heal and call her out, and so you're like a top 5, and you can well, reveal top 5 of the deck and call up all the Great Ones out and the rest to the bottom of the deck. And since you're running a lot of Great Ones, and most of them are, well, basically all of them are V-era Great Ones, so they will be 10k shield, which can easily make her at least a 25k shield. And if you have more Great Ones, then it's even better. So her guiding value sometimes will exceed Plot Maker Dragon, so I'm using her. Then I'm using 2 of the Dark Veil Dragon. Also a very high power, high defensive power G-Guardian, but one of the weak point of this card is it requires Soul Blast, which is supposed to be the benefit or advantage, but since you are actually Soul Blasting quite a lot when you use the Phantom Blaster right chain, so there will be chances that you might not have the soul for a Soul Blast, which, if that's the case, then you can even flip your Dark Veil Dragon with these guys, so won't hurt you at all. But if you don't actually have much Soul Blast to do because you can't do the Superiority Chain, which can happen, then at least you can use the soul for some special guarding power, just because it's easy to use. Yeah, so that's basically the that content, and we can let's have a quick look on how to like some ideal rides and some actions that you can do with this deck. Okay, so let's talk about what you can do with this deck. Of course, turn 1, find yourself something great one that is not the main, which yeah, likely beat that. And you hopefully can search yourself a Claret sword from there. If not, if you write other great ones, that's fine. And make sure you call in the main. Rest it. Get yourself a Dam Hood, Soul Blaster Grade 0, retire it, and get yourself a Blaster Dark ready for next turn. And next turn, right into your Blaster Dark, use your main again, and find yourself your only one Band-Aid, which is let's see here, Soul Blaster Grade 1, and Superiority into a Phantom Blaster Dragon, and gain yourself a Horse Marker. Then if you do have like that, because you probably will take a damage, then you can drop some cards. If you drop great ones, then you can counter blast and draw yourself a card. Yeah, then you just swing, and next turn, if ideal, you will ride into your Claret Sword Dragon and probably have one of these in hand to stride. And since you have like 2 force markers, then depending how your drop grows, you can go into Chain Ranker for 2 swings. Even you are not on JB3 yet, but when your opponents are grade 2, they probably can't guard that easily because they can't use G guard. Or if your field or hand size is really bad, then you can go for that and use your R to call 2 regards, sack them, draw 2 cards, and then just try to build your drop with 10 grade 1s including grade 0s, and even just that can be a 19k 2 crit attacker with Mofessa, so that's totally fine. But if you do play a ideal normal game, then you probably will have another Dark Pride or maybe a Morning Spear, those with pump power, and you can use for blue spotted dragons to try to search yourself for this, or even a Claret Sword for stride if you already in this turn, so, or even ride. Then you can just swing and put all the triggers powers to these and swing. Then next turn you strike into another Chain Ranker, because you probably already do a G flip with this and do it again, flip, then you're already on GB3, so you can do a Dark Restrictions, 2 attacks, which should help you win the game already. But most ideal is you win with these on your first strike, and if your opponent's damage deny you, then you can just strike into that. Then you might not have that much here. Then you can use your main, call something else, and then Soul Blast your grade 2. Even worst case is you don't even ride that, you still have 1 soul to Soul Blast for this, and second line, then call yourself another domain and a colony, because you can't draw with your Abyssal Owl because you're on grade 4, and since you're Superior Riding, you probably won't be the same grade anyway. You can also try to call yourself a Blue Espada if you want to search for your Claret Sword, because he only requires you to have this card to appear on Vanguard Omega Circle, so you can Superior call your Blue Espada Dragon to search yourself Morning Spear and Claret Sword if possible. So yeah, and if you want some defensive power while you have like quite a few great ones, then you can even call yourself a Decran to build up your defensive power, then you can intercept with these guys. And probably the next turn you will have enough counterblast, then you can go back to your work. Yeah. So that's basically how the deck runs. And again, there are some cards that you can consider to use. For example, the Grade 4 Claret Sword. Yeah, that. This is one of your options. So he doesn't require you any counterblast or soul blast, but you need to do a G Persona flip whenever your opponents to call Sentinel or G Guardians, or when this card attack hits the Vanguard, then you can flip Persona flip and call Great Ones or lower cards up to the number of face cards in your G zone to different circles and shuffle deck. So kind of a good finisher, but I do want to use my Great Ones on other things, and my Abyssal Owl can't Soul Blast one to draw one unless I do have Counter Blast, but sometimes I don't. So I'm not using the Grateful Claret Sword, but you can actually try it yourself and see if you like it. And also there's one card that one I can't afford yet, two I can't find it yet, is the promotion cards from Standard, which allows you to, when you have 7 Great Ones that already binded, then you can use that card to be your Claret Sword Dragon cost. By using that, you can actually increase your chances to use Claret Sword and also your Chain Ranker to stand multiple times, more and more times, again and again and again. Which I highly recommend you to use it if you can actually find one. But if you can't get one yet, or won't be able to get one, like what I am right now, you can try this build and see if you like it. Yeah. So that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know any comments on this deck that you have. Yeah, and I will see you guys in the next video. Signing off.